Hey folks, this is the monthly UK economy and UK house price update for you. So start up with the economy and then finish off with the house price indexes. Obviously, the economy is what leads potentially to downturns in house prices. So if the economy starts doing badly, that's when you see the declines in house prices. So that's why I start off with the economy first, and just the main figures. So GDP, inflation, and then unemployment. So GDP then it's up 0.7% in a recent quarter. So that's up 1% on the previous quarter. So that's looking okay. That's sort of good for house prices. And then inflation then is come right down. So it's 2.2 percentage points lower than the previous month. That's like month by month. So, but it's down to 2.8. So it's come down sort of relatively low. So those sort of, from an economic standpoint, the UK economy is not doing too badly at the moment. But on the employment and unemployment side, the unemployment rate is up 0.5% on the previous year. So that's up to 4.4%. And consequently, the employment rate is down 1.1% on the previous year. So not particularly bad, but sort of heading in the wrong direction. So we'll just take a look at some of these charts just to show that. So the employment, just on the labour market employment rate here, I'll just read the main paragraph here. So this month's figures continue to show signs of the labour market maybe cooling or slowing down, with the number of vacancies still falling and unemployment rising. So it's rising. Let's take a quick look. We've got here the unemployment rate. This is all from ONS, UK government. So this is a long-term chart. This is January 1971. So we can see right at the end here, it's sort of relatively high rate of increase there, even though it's quite low. The danger is that keeps going. So we see. So this was, for example, the Great Financial Crisis starts going up, doesn't stop, and then plateaus here, and takes a while to come back down. So here's the 90s recession. That saw house price big house price declines here, big house price declines here. So we'll have to see if this continues or not. But at the moment, it's actually relatively low. So nothing too concerning at the moment, even if it is heading in the wrong direction. And then the what's this? Oh, this is just inflation. Yeah. So this is this is obviously the inflation crisis we've just been through, and it's come right back down to sort of normal levels. So again, that's good for maintenance of house prices. And then we've got the gross domestic, just to chart the gross domestic products here. So it's quarter on quarter. So if I do all of it there, yeah, it doesn't really show much. So the last 10 years, for example, so this is zero here, and it's normally quite small because it's just a quarter on quarter gross domestic product. And if it's above zero, then that's good. But if it's below zero, so we actually went through, even if it's not far below zero, it's still in contraction if it's below zero. So you can see here in 2022, we did have technical recession actually in 2023. The last two quarters of 2023, it's a small one, and now it's come back heading in the right direction. So the economy appears to be sort of back on track in terms of production, gross domestic products, and then so that's GDP there. So as I say, the economy seems to be doing okay, but the unemployment situation is getting worse, although it's not particularly bad at the moment. So we just have to see if that continues or not. So on the house prices side of things, so we've got the Office of Budget Responsibility here. They do an economic forecast. They put a lot of statistics into their modelling here. And so house price growth, as far as they're concerned, they actually see it going down to right up to the end, basically up to the end of 2024, between 3 and 4% lower than a year earlier. So 3 or 4% lower at the end of 2024 than the start of 2024. And then, as if by magic, it just takes off in the opposite direction, and everything's hunky-dory again. So where they get that from, I don't know. But even the Office of Budget Responsibility see, 2024 as being a continued sort of decline in house prices. So we'll see if that bears out or not. So the main house price index is here. So just on houseprisecrash.co.uk. Annual changes. So if we look at the ACCA data, so this is kind of like, again, academic data. So again, more statistics really applied to this. So possibly it's less biased than these other indexes here, which we'll talk about. So, and this has the biggest annual change, minus 3.3%. So continuing down as far as they're concerned. Then you got, like, for example, Halifax. So you've got the two biggest lenders, Halifax and Nationwide. Annual changes, Halifax has gone just back up into positive territory, 1.5%, but not really anything to write home about. And then Nationwide is 1.3%, so at least they're in agreement there. And then the Office for National Statistics of the government, that's actually discontinued there. Didn't see that. Anyway, so that's January 2024. That was sort of heading in the wrong direction, but that's 4 or 5 months out of date now. Anyway, the land registry is still going, although it's a bit of a lag. So period covered up to April 2024. At that point, it was sort of, again, just into positive territory. So kind of confirms maybe what we've seen from the big lenders there. Again, nothing to write home about. And then the Zoopla and Rightmove, so more of your asking price indexes. Maybe sort of the sentiment, it's still slightly negative with Zoopla, just below zero, and then just above zero for Rightmove. So, I mean, but these figures they're actually slightly better than 2020. I think it's 2022 or into 2023. They're all negative. So maybe a slight improvement we're seeing with house prices currently. So taking a look at just a little bit more detail in some of these. For display here, so we've got the average. This is land registry data, but on the trend, just trying to show the trend here. So UK average house prices up to April, just only up to April 2024, but it sort of peaked here in July 2022, and it's been trending down. So again, this is another longer term chart. So 2002, so that's part of more than 20 years. So yeah, trending down currently at the moment overall. The annual house price change, though, which was below zero, which last time we sort of saw that was just after the Great Financial Crisis, really. And so, yes, it's ticking up. The house price change, according to the land registry. So if that continues, obviously, then we could see sort of further increases, or we could see house prices recover because they have actually come down, as you can see here. Or this could be just a counter trend move. So the trend going down here, a counter trend move, as you often see in charts, and then it continues on that trend. And so, I mean, it's only if we see like another sort of big recession, like here in 2008, the Great Financial Crisis, that we'll see real declines in house prices. So we have to wait and see which way this continues to go. So at the moment, slightly heading in the right direction. But again, real interesting, or the real house price chart here is adjusting for inflation. So obviously you've had a high period of inflation here. So the actual UK house prices adjusted for inflation, which is the blue line here, has gone down. And so, yeah, that's sort of trending down. remains to be seen if this meets support here. So about the sort of the equivalent of 250k was the support level. So technical analysis would suggest that it could get down to here and then find support possibly, or it could just overshoot and keep going down. But currently, house prices adjusted for inflation it's come off the boil and is on its way down. So this is nationwide data. It's from the Nationwide Building Society, the biggest lender in the UK. Again, from the Nationwide monthly house prices. So this is a slightly more recent chart. So May 2023, it's come down, and then we see monthly UK house prices going back up overall. So it suggests some sort of recovery here in 2024 that we're looking at. And nationwide house prices here. So that's that longer term chart again. So coming down here, but sort of heading. This is a longer term chart. So this chart isn't sort of showing this peak here. So it could be masking this sort of trend down, as it were, if this does continue. So this is the longer term chart. Yep. So we just got to wait and see if this is a peak and then continues down here. So it looks like it could go either way at the moment. So this is why I do a monthly check just to see where we are, where it's trending from these charts. Yeah, as you can see, like in 2020, so was this? Yeah, in the UK, 2023, it was sort of trending down, sort of minus 5%. 2022, you know, in the previous year, we're sort of heading up. The annual change was like up 10%, up 11% from previous year, up 12, up 14%, and you can see how quickly things can change. So currently, kind of break even. Again, it's sort of in limbo. It's not really clear what direction it goes in. If the economy is strong, then house prices probably continue up. But if we do see a weakening, if we see a recession, there is talk of recession in 2020, 2025 possibly, for various reasons. And now I've got other videos that cover those reasons that you can check out if you want to. But yeah, if we do see that recession, then these figures will undoubtedly start to come down and look more like these figures we saw in 2023 again, depending on if we see that recession or not. And then for London, you know, the sort of rest of the UK kind of seems to follow London when it comes to house price changes. So the annual change here, which is kind of what we're trying to focus on here is the trend. Where's the trend going? And the annual change in London is coming down, but it's coming down from quite high values. So it was around 6% there. It's now gone down to around about sort of zero, negative, slightly negative, at some points in the last year or so. So again, so you can see here going negative just recently. So London could be sort of heading down possibly in comparison to the rest of the UK. Obviously, things are a lot more expensive in London. Again, you see here in 2022, these figures were around about sort of 6-7% annual change increase. That all seems to be gone at the moment. And latest figures here, well, it goes up to November 2023, so it's actually a bit of a lag here. However, trending down from the sort of 2022 peak is where we're at currently for London. And then this is a Halifax, just the Halifax report for May 2024, so it's quite up to date. Highest price is 1.5% higher than the same month the year earlier. There's a lot of accusations of cherry picking here in the Halifax and nationwide indexes. See, they have a vested interest in showing the better side of the housing market. So have to take these at face value. But according to Halifax, 1.5% higher than the same month a year earlier. That annual change there is just again, it's nothing to write home about, but it is heading in the right direction according to Halifax. Quarterly changes, no, that's down 3. Monthly changes down 0.1. So, sort of challenges, headwinds could be seen here, and look like we've got a pretty anemic annual growth in house prices. Again, this is not the nationwide house price index, so just trying to show the actual different sources here, not just that sort of aggregator site house price crash. So again, sort of trending up, annual percentage change in UK house prices, trending about -5 for a lot of 2023. Now got its head above. This is a zero line here. Got its head above water, but again, sort of fairly sort of anemic, just above 0. And then this is the regional annual change. So again, looking at the regionals here. So if we select Q3 2023 and then Q2 2023, so we see the sort of 2022-23, or sort of 2023 sort of declines here, -4 to 6% sort of across the board. And then we've got Northern Ireland coming back up to be between 2 and 4%. Although the latest quarter is actually, according to the Halifax, is going sort of down again. So Q1 2024 is the green one, Q2 is the orange one here, so heading lower again. For Scotland, for example, a lot of regions still below 0 for a best part of over a year now. East Anglia, out to southeast, out to metropolitan. We've got London coming up, sort of very low, sort of below about 1%, back above 0. And then the other regions that seem to be doing the best are Northwest, Yorkshire, and then North. So again, going from sort of -4% to about sort of 2%. Again, just coming down there for the North, but Yorkshire and the Northwest seem to be the best growth areas for house prices currently. But yeah, again, nothing to write home about here. So that's according to the nationwide. Again, just a couple more charts here. Just try and keep these sort of fairly comprehensive. So mortgage approvals, if we go to switch to the 10-year. So coming down May 2024. But, obviously COVID here distorted things. So we sort of went back after that to equilibrium here, but then we sort of dropped down from that long-term trend here of around sort of 62, 65, back up to 72 there, and then dropped down here in 2022. So mortgage approvals, obviously with interest rates, etc. Of course, this basically, but and we see it's a low point here in 2023, so it's trending up. Got back up to about 61 there. So mortgage approvals seem to be recovering, but we're still generally below. So maybe sort of 65 to 70 here. We're sort of 55 to 60 here. But sort of just heading down at the end there. So the important thing, again, I tried to stress, what's going to determine house prices is the trend. If this trend, technically, in technical analysis terms, we've got high, lower high, lower high, lower high. This is maybe sort of a longer term lower high if this keeps going down here. So if those mortgage approvals keep going down, then we'd see potentially house prices decline. If mortgage approvals are not being made, and then if that combines with a recession, then that's the scenario where house prices decline. But if we don't see the recession, we'll see probably a full recovery in mortgage approvals. We could see further increases or a sort of full recovery of house prices in the UK. So it's kind of a very interesting juncture point here. So check back each month if you want to catch up, and I'll take you through, and we can see where things are heading for the economy and UK house prices.